Well, you directed me over to something. I assume it's not just the color, but what this the person is. It's easy. Okay, it is. It's the. I will mention it in case of viewers of these things. Uh, these guys come on. They come on Fox News a lot. These type of people. But what it is this. It's someone from the American Enterprise Institute. He's actually like the title is like senior fellow the American Enterprise Institute, and of course that like what they do is what they'd be doing is like saying like that nothing, saying negative things about the healthcare Obama's put in place. Right. I mean that's a given. That's why the someone from the American Enterprise Institute is brought out onto one of the shows on Fox. It sounds like it's fine, regular, right? Except for one thing that people should notice: the fact that like political pundits and whoever else and the Republican congressmen and all these people who come on to say that things that would indicate the health care that was put in place should just be repealed, and of course not offer anything else. But wait a minute, when the thing with this American Enterprise Institute, and it's like it's a senior research fellow over there. Here's something where we can really say that some of the institutional structures of our society are sick in a way that's like the following. Okay, that would be the kind of place like these like think tanks and stuff. Everyone there has these are people with like PhDs in economics and everything. Now this one is one that like does a lot of. I mean, they sort of defend the private sector and things like that, or they're supposed to. That's why it's called the American Enterprise Institute. But see, here's an individual who, if I would love to ask such a person, right? I mean, so what actually is a way? This would be someone who could explain, like, what way in which we could, have a national healthcare system, or could explain, like, what parts of the Affordable Care Act are causing problems and how could they be corrected. And since you represent, you're all economists who are, like, studying and writing about things that involve, like, private sector versus public sector, certainly he must have interesting thoughts on how we could get to a situation where, the 40 million people who are like have no health insurance, like how could such a thing be done? I mean, it can't be that they scrap the entire Affordable Care Act, but it seems so fraught with problems. This would be the kind of person who's master's degrees in economics at the American Enterprise Institute, thinking all the time about public and private and those kind of things. Like, so in other words, but instead, this is how universities and graduate schools are educating people, that he is simply lending his voice to the same. I mean, the idea that our graduate schools are producing individuals with PhDs in economics who what they're saying. I mean, yeah, it is what. The people with PhDs in economics in our society say the same thing Bill O'Reilly would say, or Sean Hannity or something, or radio show hosts with, talk radio programs. How's that possible? He's a PhD in economics, and the whole point of that think tank is sort of like looking into, like, things that involve, like, the private sector and the public sector, private versus public. These kind of things are what this person's, like, expertise is in. How's it possible that when he comes on television, he's just saying things that, a person with people who have, like, radio shows and Rush Limbaugh and stuff say? Well, he came through the American university system to get his PhD. Right. It's a kind of imposed ignorance that means a PhD in economics just talks like Bill O'Reilly would or something. Yeah, nothing's working. Nothing's working, and it's a disaster. And a lot of what he's talking about is politics. Like, the president's trying to, backtrack. And he's not why is he talking about politics? I mean, why doesn't he tell me what he must have said? Doesn't he have interesting thoughts about if this isn't working well? How could we change it and move forward? What are his thoughts on having health care in America? I mean, he must know all kinds of things. Nope, he doesn't know all kinds of things. He's a senior research fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, which means he probably has a PhD in economics. but it was obtained at American University, where people are educated in such a way that even a PhD has nothing more intelligent to say than radio show host and Bill O'Reilly. They should quarantine all the economics departments so they can't keep graduating sick individuals like this. That's what it brings to mind.